Hey everyone, I'm Christian Galloway, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel called Parenting with Purpose. And I wanted to drop in and do a video about being overwhelmed, because this has been something that I've been seeing a lot lately, but that also that I've been going through myself. And so I really had to take a step back on what needed to be done. Whether it be letting some things go or whether it means to push through. So it's been a challenge. For those of you who don't know, I homeschool my son full time, and then I'm also in graduate school full time. So that is a lot, and then I just had some other things going on in my life as well. I really just wanted to come in, talk to you about it, and just give you some things that has helped me in hopes that it can help you. So this is a season where it just seems like there's so much happening, where it's causing people to just feel all of the pressure. It seems like things are just kind of caving in. Things are, people are feeling the pressure and just feeling like they don't have control over anything. And so I wanted to come on and share these few things that these questions that I've had to ask myself. But they've also helped me to make some decisions that I needed to make. So the first one you're gonna see me look over because I wrote some notes down to make sure that I don't forget anything. But the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is identifying that you are feeling overwhelmed. I'm not going to say I'm overwhelmed because I'm not going to accept that identity. But I'm feeling overwhelmed. Okay, so number one, you want to identify what you're feeling. All right, you can't do anything about it until you put a name on it. So number one, I am feeling overwhelmed. All right, number two, locate yourself. Where are you in this season? And when I say where are you in this season, that's asking yourself, you know, what in this season, what am I required to do? All right, so you want to ask yourself, what are my priorities in this season? So you want to locate yourself after you're saying, okay, yes, right now I'm feeling overwhelmed. You need to take a step back and say, what is it that, in this season where I am, what is required of me? What are my top priorities? Okay, if anything, you can do 3 things that fall under your priority list. And you need to ask yourself, in this season, what is most important? What can I do as far as, is this a season where I need to push through? Because not every season is going to be easy. Okay, that's just being honest with you, but not every season is going to be easy. But is this a season? You have to ask yourself and just be honest with yourself first and foremost. But is this a season where I need to drop some things off? Like, am I causing stress? Am I causing myself to be overwhelmed? Like, is it unnecessary, overwhelming feelings? Or is this a season where I have to push through? Do I have to push through? Is this a season where I need to push through? Is it a season where, these things have to get done? No matter what, to keep the ball rolling, to keep moving forward, these things have to get done. So this could be a season where you're having to push through. Okay, yes, my son is being homeschooled full time. Yes, I am aware of there being co-ops, but because this was my first year, I kind of wanted to just, take a step back and say, okay, let's do this just to see where my son is, where I am with homeschooling. And to be honest, that's not even a stressful thing. That's not even a stressful thing for me. So, because I have fun while teaching my son. Grad school, on the other hand, yes, it is necessary for what God is calling me to do. That's the road that He has me on. There are times where just trying to balance grad school, homeschooling my son, and doing other things, for myself in this season. And so again, these are questions that I've had to ask myself. Is this a season where I have to push through, or is this a season where I need to drop some things off so that I can, get it off my shoulders and move forward, keep moving, right? So you want to identify, yes, right now I'm feeling overwhelmed. Number two, you want to ask yourself, where am I in this season? You want to locate yourself. Where am I in this season? What are my priorities? And you need, if anything falls outside of of that priority list, then it's easy. Alleviate it, drop it off. All right, you can go ahead, and it doesn't mean that you're giving up on that, depending on what it is, but it doesn't mean that you have to give up on it. It just simply means that this is not the season for it. Okay. And while I'm at that, let me go ahead and say breakdowns are real. Okay. Breakdowns are real. Illness is real. And oftentimes when people are overwhelmed, that's where the sickness starts. The sickness starts because you're overwhelmed. You're not taking care of your body, right? You're lacking something, whether it may be sleep, whether it may be you've gotten off track, you're running yourself to the ground, all right? And so you're not getting ample enough rest. You're not, maybe you're not exercising, and your body is used to you exercising. And when I say exercising, that could be physically or spiritually, so make sure that you stay in your word, because you want to be connected to God. Like, he's going to give you what you need for the things that he's calling you to do. So that, going back, that's the reason why I said, yes, I'm homeschooling my son, and yes, I'm in grad school, but I cannot alleviate those two things, because those are things that God has called me to in this season. So yes, he has given me the grace to do it, because that's what he's called me to do. Other things, yes, he's given me the grace to do a few things, but there are some things where I've had to alleviate. And some of them were hard, some of them were not. So again, that's the importance of you having to locate yourself and to find out where you are in this season and what's required of you, what's important and what's not important in this season. Okay. The next thing I want to give you is ask yourself who can help you. It is so critical for you to have a community. If you do not have a community, start off by asking God, because you don't want just anybody in your circle, because it is not just you, it's you and your children. So you want a community, whether it be 2 to 3 people, I don't know, just one person, whoever it is, you want to make sure that it's God who sent them and not just them appearing in your life. So make sure that you have a community. Sometimes we're not, because we're in the situation, sometimes we can't see what other people can see. So that's why I'm saying that you want people that God sends into you and your child's life, because there are some things that other people can see. God will give them eyes to see where you are. He will give them words to speak to you, words that you need to hear. Because again, you're in it. So sometimes it takes for an extra set of eyes, an extra set of ears to see where it is exactly that you are, what it is that you're actually going through, and they'll be able to help coach you. Whether, they're saying, hey, I think you just have so much on your plate, and there are some things that you can't afford to, put to rest right now, or there are some things, these right here, I really see how God is moving in you, how God wants you there. He's confirmed it, but again, not everyone has that gift. Not everyone can have access to you and your child's life. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Not everyone can have access to you and your child's life. So that's why I say you need to pray and ask God to send you a community. And he will. He will. So next is learn to say no. Y'all, it has been a long journey for me. I'm gonna just be honest and transparent with y'all. It has been a long journey, but I didn't know that I had become a yes person until I realized that every time somebody came and asked me a question, the answer was always yes. And I had to, the way I found out was I had to make a list. I made a list and I said, okay, name the things that lately, just within the past month, what, questions that people have asked you, things that you have been asked to do, to complete, whatever. And then I looked at my response to each of those questions and they were all yes. I said, oh no. That's why I'm overwhelmed, because I don't know how to say no. And it is so important, because I promise you, when I came and what I didn't like, because of who I am, when I give you my yes, I'm going to do it. But now it's a lesson for me to say, okay, you really need to think things through. I'm not going to give an answer. I don't care who it is. I'm not going to give an answer until 24 hours have passed. All right. It's the same thing as being an impulsive buyer. I seen this book that I really wanted on Amazon, and I said, okay, I really want this book. But I said, you know what? I'm going to give it 24 hours. I'm going to close the tabs and everything. And that next day I came, and I didn't realize it, but I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 days that went by. I hadn't thought about that book, and I said, oh yeah. The third or fourth day, I came and I was like, I remember that book I wanted. And I was like, wait a minute. Apparently it's not that important, because it took me 3 or 4 days to think about it again. If it was something that I really, really needed, for me, how I function, I would have gotten it that next day. I would have woke up with it on my mind. So it was just something that I've had to learn. And it's still a journey. It's still a process. So I haven't fully arrived. But I want to share with you, like, you're going to have to learn how to say no. It just is. And so I think, honestly, like, sometimes we as single moms, I know, speaking for myself, so I don't know, but I know, sometimes you've watched how much you've been able to overcome as a single mom. And so now you're like, yeah, I can do it. Okay, it's small. Okay, I can take on that too. Oh, that's small too. I could take on that one too. And next thing you know, one day you wake up and you're feeling overwhelmed, like, man, I'm just like really tired. I can't do this anymore. What is the problem? And it's because you've taken on so much that you were never meant to take on. You're taking on other people's responsibilities. Matter of fact, you're enabling them. You're crippling them of their growth. You don't even think of it that way. All right. So learn how to say no. No, I can't. You don't have to be rude about it. You can just say, no, I can't do it. You don't have to go into the spiel of, no, I wish I could, but I have this and this and this. No, you just say, no, I can't. I'm sorry. No, unfortunately, I won't be able to do it. Or no, I won't be able to take that responsibility. You have to stand on it. Don't even feel guilty, because you matter. Sometimes we forget we do things so much for our kids that we tend to forget we as parents, we matter. And if we don't take care of ourselves, who's going to take care of our kids? Okay, so you matter. Understand that you matter. God still wants to do something on this earth through you. Okay, you are his daughter before you are anything else on this earth. You are his daughter before you're a mother. You're his daughter before you're someone's sister. You're his daughter before you're someone's advocate, someone's pastor, someone's employee. You are God's daughter first and foremost. So understand that you matter, and you have to take care of yourself. There are multiple ways that you can practice self-care. So again, just to recap, it's going to be, number 1, put a name on it. Identify, yes, right now I am feeling overwhelmed. Number 2, locate where you are. And all that is saying, okay, where am I at in this season? What are my main priorities? And stick to it. Anything that falls outside of that priority list that you've created, that can wait. it can wait. It will be there. Okay. The third thing is, what can you alleviate? You need to realize, you need to ask yourself, is this a season where I need to push through? Or do I need to alleviate some things? Do I need to drop some things off so I can get my energy back, so I can get my strength back? Okay. If this is a season where you have to push through, simply ask God, like, God, I need you. I need your supernatural strength today. And I promise you, God will give it to you. I promise you. And then the last thing is learn how to say no. Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing was, make sure that you have a community. If you don't already have one, ask God. If you're part of your church, go ahead and, sometimes there are people who are waiting to walk life, to walk alongside of someone. They just don't have access. So there are actually people who are waiting to walk alongside you during this journey through life. So you can start off at your church. Get involved. You can always start serving if that's something that you can afford to do in this season. But if not, just simply go and ask, I am looking for someone to help me in this season. Like, it's okay. But again, ask God to send those people to you. And then again, the last thing is learn how to say no. Learning how to say no. I've realized that saying yes all those times really just, it came from a deeper place rather than just saying yes. It came from a place of fear. Are you still going to be here in my life if I say no? And here's the beautiful thing about that. If they're not, just because you say no, if that person chooses to leave, they were never for you. That may hurt, but in the end, it's working out for your good. You don't want baggage. And I'm not calling people baggage, but you don't want baggage. You don't need, right now you're already feeling overwhelmed. So you don't need the extra emotional attachments, if that makes sense. Okay? So you only want people behind you, on your side. You only want people in your life who are really for you. No matter who it is. And when I say no matter who it is, it could be friends from elementary. It could be co-workers that you may need to separate yourself from now because things are not how they used to be. Or it can even be family that does not serve you or see in you what God has placed in you. So it really just depends, but you have to say no and understand that it's working out for your good. God still loves you. God still loves your child. And it was something interesting. Bishop Jakes, I heard him say a couple years ago, him and his daughter, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, they were doing a father-daughter talk. And I remember he said in that speech, in that talk, he said, I was raising you while I was raising myself. So not only are you working on yourself right now, but remember, parenting is caught, not taught. Parenting is caught, not taught. So how you're raising your children, all right, they're watching. And it's not to say you're going to do everything perfect. It's not to say that you're not going to make mistakes, because we're human. So I just want you to put forth your best effort in everything that you do. Keep God first. God will continue to guide you. Every time that I'm doing these videos, I do pray before I even come on here, because I want to make sure that I'm, giving the message that God wants me to give and in the way that I'm supposed to give it. I'm not perfect. So, and because I'm doing a channel talking about parenting with purpose, it involves not only you, but it also involves our children. So I'm always in prayer and just making sure that what I even talk about, from the topic all the way to what I say, that, you know, God will go before me in these videos. So, you know, keep God first in everything that you are being a part of, and all your responsibilities. But you matter, so it does matter of what you are pushing through, what you need to maybe drop off in this season, because God will give you grace for what He's called you to do. And as much as you may want to hold on to some things, I get it. There are some things that you're just going to have to let go of in this season. Again, it doesn't mean that you won't be able to pick up from, you know, in another season, but in this season, you have to stay focused on what God has put in front of you. Yeah, and seek guidance on that. So I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and drop it down in the comment box below. If you haven't already, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and go ahead and subscribe to the video if you like, and if you want more information. And with all that being said, I'll see you in the next video, and you all take care. Thanks.